Hey guys, Chris from Hockey Tutorial here, and today in this video we're going to be taking a look at the CarbonLite runners. And of course, as always, before we jump into the video, please make sure you give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe. That essentially helps out the YouTube algorithm. It brings more eyes to the channel. It allows us to grow and produce these videos that you guys love to watch so much. So before we jump in, thumbs up and subscribe. As a quick side note as well, please let me know in the comment section what runners you're using on your skates currently and why. And if you've got an idea of any other runners that you're thinking about picking up, comment down below and let me know which ones and why. Now, you guys have been hounding me for this in the comments. I have been seeing those comments from you guys. I originally dropped a video explaining what these runners were, what the features were when they first came out. And I said in that video I'd be doing a follow-up. So finally, here's the follow-up video of what the performance of these runners has been like. Now, in terms of the previous video, if you want to learn a lot more about these runners, how they compare in terms of the weight to other runners that you typically see on the channel, I'll link that video down below so you can go and check that out first. But if you're unaware of what these runners are or what they do, essentially this is a fusion of two different materials for a skate blade. You have carbon fiber on the top and then stainless steel on the bottom. It also has a stabilizing spine going across the middle section to essentially add torsional flex, is what Bauer calls it, to these blades over here. Now, the big thing about these, it's in the name, CarbonLite, is the fact that they were significantly lighter than the other runners Bauer produces, which is the LS Pulse and also the LS Pulse TI. So the lightness, is that something that you feel? Now, being completely honest, where you feel the lightness of these runners is when you're on the ice and you're completing a stride. So you fully extended your skate and then you're recovering that skate back underneath your body, getting ready to do another stride. The recovery process of lifting your skate blade off the ice and back underneath you is where you do feel the weight, especially when you switch runners over to the CarbonLites. It's something that you can unquestionably feel. In terms of when you're actually on the ice, you're playing a game, you're in the meats and bones of the game, you're pivoting, quick starts and stops. For me personally, it's not something that I've been able to feel at all. It's just that striding process that you can really feel it. But I do have to mention, we have to take our hats off to Bauer for creating something like this. This is definitely not what we could call a traditional skate blade. A fusion of two different materials, carbon fiber and steel, to produce this, in terms of engineering, is pretty insane to see them do this. So we definitely have to take our hat off to Bauer for creating these. Now, the way the weight compares to the Pulse TI and also the Pulse runners from Bauer is the CarbonLites are roughly 61 grams lighter. That being said, these blades are significantly lighter, pretty much lighter than anything else that's out there currently. What's the performance been like? This is the most important thing. For me personally, the most difficult thing with these runners has been sharpening them, which sounds a bit weird. What I mean by that is the quality of steel that's been used to create these, I feel, is where the issue occurs, in my opinion. Sharpening these blades has been a nightmare, to be completely honest. It's incredibly difficult to get the edges level. I thought it was my Sparks machine, so I used a different Sparks machine, had the same result, gave it to somebody that sharpens skates with a Blade Master, and they had the exact same thing. You have to sharpen them multiple times to be able to get the edges perfectly level, which is incredibly frustrating. In terms of being on the ice with them, what's the performance been like? I could notice these blades immediately while I was on the ice. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, the way a blade performs, and if it's not performing the way it should, is something that you will be able to detect. If you're stopping really hard and you just feel like your edges aren't biting the ice properly, maybe your blades are kind of vibrating or skipping on the ice, and you just don't feel like they have a consistent bite on the ice at all times. In addition to this, I also felt that I didn't have a consistent bite when I was in quick turns, quick stops, pivots. Essentially, every element of me being on the ice was something I could feel wasn't 100% right while I was using these blades. The weight is cool, but the performance for myself personally has just not been there. It's where I would strongly suggest, if you're trying to figure out which of Bauer's runners to go for, it would be these over here, the LS Pulse TIs. In my opinion, the three blades that Bauer is producing right now, or that Bauer has on their website, the idea of who produces their blades is a completely separate story that we're not going to get into in this video. But if you go onto their website, the main blades that Bauer has is going to be the LS Pulse, the LS Pulse TIs, and also the CarbonLites. Out of those three runners, these, in my opinion, are the best option to go for. And if we're looking at it from Bauer's website, these runners are about $100 cheaper than the CarbonLite. So if you're trying to figure out which blades to go for in terms of Bauer blades, it's going to be these ones over here. The Pulse TIs are the best performing and best quality runners that Bauer has ever created to date. But something I do have to say is it's always nice when you see manufacturers do something that is completely outside the box. Nobody else, in my opinion, has created a skate blade where they've fused two different materials together like this. So I do want to take my hat off to Bauer for doing that. It's nice to see that something like this is possible. I've not had any issues in terms of the carbon fiber separating from the stainless steel. So that was something that I was concerned about and I mentioned in the previous video. Nothing like that's ever happened to me. I'm not sure if it's ever happened to anyone else, but the durability side of things has been great. It's just been the consistency of the edges and the general quality of the steel that's been the biggest letdown for myself. Although this attempt over here was good, but it just wasn't quite there yet, you have no idea what's going to be getting released next that could remedy all of these issues. I love seeing products like this because it shows that there's development, it shows that there's products that are coming out that we haven't seen previously, and I love that. So although these just ain't it, Chief, if you're considering a set of Bauer runners and you don't know which ones to go for, I strongly suggest you pick up the Pulse TI blades because these have been absolutely flawless. This is also a great time to announce that I'm also going to be joining Superpeer. Superpeer is a platform that's going to allow me to connect with you guys and discuss things on a one-to-one basis. Over the last year or two, I've noticed a massive surge in messages about equipment and you guys wanting very specific help on should I get this pair of skates or this stick. There's a whole host of questions that you guys have been asking, and I feel like joining a platform that allows me to be able to take one-to-one calls with you, to do live streams, will be the best way for me to be able to answer your questions better than just trying to reply to it by text, because there's a lot of back and forth that needs to happen for me to be able to help guide you during your equipment buying process. So I'll have all of the links down below in the video description that will allow you to be able to connect with me, find me on Superpeer, set up a one-to-one, or figure out when the next live stream is going to be. So if you've got any questions that you want me to answer specifically, and it's not the type of thing a quick comment is going to be able to solve, then make sure you check out the link in the video description. And I can't wait to jump on some live streams and some one-to-one calls with yourselves. As always, guys, I hope this answers all the questions that I've seen being hounded in the comment section of other videos about what these runners are like. If you want to see the previous video, I'll link that down below. If there's anything else you want to see, please let me know in the comment section and we'll do our best to make that happen. But a big thank you for watching. Make sure that you thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe so you can stay up to date with what we post, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, guys.